I'm your host, Gary Davis. The We Are Newtown initiative was started as a community site to share fundraising efforts and goodwill in support of the Sandy Hook Elementary School tragedy. We Are Newtown rallies communities to unite and become stronger in times of tragedy through the belief that we all have hope, with the knowledge that we are not and will not be defined by the misguided actions of one, but rather by what we do as a result of those actions. With me today is Kyle Lyddy, the founder of We Are Newtown. Kyle, it's great to be here. And I've got to know, because this is a fabulous site, it's just been so uplifting to people in the community and around the world. What prompted you to organize We Are Newtown?
Yeah, so I've lived here my entire life, 26 years, the same house, so I have a true passion for the community, the people that live here, and the unifying force that is Newtown. And on December 15th, I asked the same question that everyone else did in terms of what can I do to help? How can I help? What steps can we take? And this was a small way that I was able to create a site, a Facebook page, a website that was able to unify the people of town, share the stories of our community. There's so many different stories coming out, about what our town was, who the people were in our town, and I wanted to make sure that those stories were correct and that the town was depicted correctly.
Well, and it's also played a great unifying role. I mean, you really have helped. There's so many different groups trying to help in town. There's been the Newtown Action Alliance, and It's Promise, the Newtown Volunteer Task Force, right. And you and Newtown Youth Authority, and you have brought it, Youth Academy, and you've kind of brought it all together on this site as well. Right.
Yeah, and that's been one of the main factors of why we did it. It completely stayed away from anything political. It's not what we're attempting to do. We wanted to make sure, once again, we wanted to unify the town. There's been so many different groups that have come out of this. Literally dozens of organizations have been created since 1214, and there was not one location to centralize all of that information, and we attempted to showcase those stories, those organizations, and share the good that they're doing.
Well, it's been fantastic, and it's also been really interesting to me, because I do public relations as my career field, is the power of digital and social media for something like this. You guys have really harnessed that in a very impactful way.
Yeah, so Facebook, and that's how we communicate. It's been the driving force of our We Are Newtown campaign. It allows us to communicate with people across the world, to be honest with you, and it's allowed us to once again share the stories. Post multiple a day, just uplifting stories, inspiring stories of not only people in town here, but people that have come into town and shared their inspiration with the townspeople. So, well,
it's been interesting. We have a photo here from Germany. People in Germany here says We Are Newtown. Yeah. And there's one of the things that's been very interesting is also that you guys made a decision very early on to create We Are Newtown T-shirts and provide them to every student attending public schools here in Newtown, and then also to sell them to raise funds for a scholarship fund. Yep. Who came up with the idea of the T-shirt, and it's just amazing how that has spread across the country.
So we have a marketing agency in town here, owned by Newtown residents, the Macharulo family, Mark and Lynn Macharulo, and they're just an incredible family that was able to provide these T-shirts to the town. Over 8,000 shirts provided to students and teachers at no cost. And they were proud to do it, and the reason they did it was, once again, to unify the town, make sure everyone knew that we were one. And they became so popular with people, non-students and people outside of Newtown, that it became a no-brainer, to be able to raise some funds through the sales of these T-shirts. So that took off. We have an amazing creative team in our agency that was able to create the T-shirt, the look and feel of the shirt, and it's something that people have really taken on and appreciated.
We have a photo of somebody modeling the shirt here. Maybe we get a good shot of it if we can pull that up. Yep. There it is. It's a great looking shirt, and you've been selling them at Big Y and different locations around the country.
Big Y has been an incredible partnership. We reached out to multiple retailers across the country, but more so locally, so that we aren't, we had a location where people could go and buy them. And, Big Y has, they sold them in 15 stores across the state of Connecticut, Newtown being obviously the biggest seller. And they've raised tons and tons of money for our scholarship, which we'll get into, just by the sale of the shirt. So,
well, it's also interesting because, like, former Newtown residents have been buying shirts. There was a woman who was a 1977 graduate of Newtown High School, who actually bought 1,000 shirts for her middle school kids in Newburyport, Massachusetts. I think we have a shot of the kids wearing the T-shirt after I think a parent-teacher-student basketball game. There they are, proudly wearing the shirt. And you've been getting these kinds of photos from people all over the world.
Literally,
it's just
literally
amazing.
We've sold shirts in every state in the United States, all 50 states, and we've been receiving pictures on our Facebook page of photos from literally across the world of these T-shirts.
Right. Well, we had a shot actually of a serviceman from Newtown in Afghanistan. I think we can pull that up. There we are. So it's all over the world.
I mean, he's a 2006 graduate, Matt Berquist, who's now in Afghanistan. His mother purchased a shirt and sent it over to him, and he uploaded the picture to our Facebook page as well. So just once again showcasing that this is a worldwide story, and it's touched lives from Newtown to Afghanistan.
Well, it's amazing. And then also there was the big night in Fenway Park that some other Newtown high school grads pulled up, and your T-shirts were selling there as well.
Yeah, so there's been so many events that have popped up, New York City to Boston, everyone, they grew up in Newtown, but now they're transformed to Boston or wherever they now live, and they just wanted to feel a part of it. They're in Boston, but they obviously have a big heart for Newtown.
Well, then there's Charlie Rio, and that's an interesting story. Here's a person who sells insurance. This is his own agency out of Ridgefield, and he's your #1 salesman, right?
He's been incredible. He's popped in. He emailed us, saying where can we purchase shirts. He wanted to sell them out of his agency in Richfield, and we've been accommodating him. It seems like on a week-by-week basis, selling 10 shirts at a time, but has made an enormous contribution to our scholarship. So
it's amazing. So out of all the things that you've seen now from developing the We Are Newtown initiative, what are some of the most memorable events?
Yeah, I think early on, the week after December 14th, we made it a point to, Big Y wasn't on board yet, so we wanted to make it a point that the shirts were available, in locations, visible in town. And so Dunkin' Donuts was another amazing sponsor, allowing us to be able to sell shirts in front of their store. I remember we put up a post the night before we were going to sell shirts. We made a last-minute decision that, we have the shirts in stock, we're going to go out and sell them. And we put up a post, I think, at 9 o'clock at night that we'd be there from 9 a.m. till noon. And I think we showed up at 9:02, and there was 25 people in line waiting for the shirt. That was kind of when we knew this was something big. Another event I would definitely say was the Cash Mob that we helped organize with the town and shop in Sandy Hook, the organization there, and getting it out through our Facebook page. That was the main avenue. We had some flyers in town, but our Facebook page has allowed us to reach outside of Newtown. And people came from Coventry, Connecticut, over an hour away to come in and support the shops in Sandy Hook.
Well, that was a very critical event because we had all this outpouring of people coming into town right after the tragedy, and the media were parking their trucks in all the parking spots where people would go to get a sandwich for lunch or to buy from some of the other merchants. So they lost all that business. So not only did we have this tragedy we're coping with as a community, they're losing all this money because nobody can get into Sandy Hook Center. So this was really the first big event to say, hey, we recognize that you guys have been here for us, and we want to make sure that you're healthy and strong businesses in Sandy Hook. So it's fabulous.
Yeah, the point of that was just to pump energy back into the town that was so stagnant and stale, to be honest. The roads were closed, the businesses were flooded with media, and people just coming down just to see what was going on, out of curiosity, and they were shut down literally for those few weeks. And I think that this was the first event, like you said, that really pumped that energy back into town. There was hundreds and hundreds of people that came from outside of Newtown and waited in line. We met someone that just came down to the toy store there, the Toy Tree, and she didn't have any kids, didn't have any reason to be in a toy store, she said. And she was in there, she saw a little kid and asked her, the child, what she wanted, and she purchased a $50 toy for the kid, just to support that town, or the store, and also support the children. So little things like that, it makes you, there are good people in the world for sure.
Well, that's it. And we've seen a lot of that throughout, something terrible happening in December 14th. We've really seen a lot of, after that point, what's good about humanity, what's good about our society, and how people come together as communities to support each other.
Sure.
And I think that goes to the heart of what Amplitude Marketing has been doing. You know, they got all the kids love the T-shirt. I know you have something hanging on the wall in the office with the T-shirt there, thanking Amplitude for all its support for our community. But one of the neat things was very quickly Amplitude partnered with the Newtown Scholarship Association to create the We Are Newtown Scholarship Fund. Tell us a little bit about what that's meant to do.
So the Newtown Scholarship Association is already a 501c3. You know, it's already a well-established.
It's a great organization.
It is incredible people, volunteers on their board that are well-established people, and people in the fundraising world. And it was a no-brainer to partner with them. It wasn't necessary to create our own scholarship and compete with them. We wanted to make sure we were on board with them, and all of the funds are being administered by their board and their 501c3. So like I said, they've been just perfect to work with. They respond to emails, and this is their second job, the Newtown Scholarship Association.
So what exactly are you hoping to accomplish with this Memorial Scholarship?
Yep, so the money that we're raising with T-shirt sales and generic donations and other things that we have on our website are going towards a scholarship for Newtown students, whether they go to Newtown High School or whether they go to Immaculate, St. Joe's, Newtown students looking to go to college to pursue a career in education. So if they want to become teachers or educators, I think that that's the reason that we're here. We thought that there was no better way to tribute, what happened in an elementary school than to provide funds for Newtown students to become teachers. So that's been the biggest driving force for this, and we're excited to be able to, give back a little bit. It's something that we've raised money for, and we're going to be giving out the first scholarships this year to the graduating class of 2013. And we hope that this lasts forever. The funds are still coming in from T-shirt sales and generic contributions, and it's just something that we hope that lasts forever.
Yeah, and that's an amazing tribute to the people who were so brave in the face of the tragedy, and to the teachers who are now continuing to cope with the aftermath. It's not over.
Right.
And a lot of the kids who are now going to Chalk Hill School, are still dealing with the aftermath, and it's the teachers who are dealing with themselves personally, but also helping these kids get through it. And
exactly.
Sometimes we don't appreciate teachers till you see how they can rise to the occasion.
Right.
And it's an amazing effort you guys are doing, and it's amazing that people have responded so well. You were thinking about 4 scholarships potentially, and annually. And that's a great. That's a pretty good amount. It's a great scholarship. $26,000 is really helpful to somebody.
For sure.
So what can we expect from We Are Newtown for the rest of 2013?
Yeah, so we're excited just to continue sharing the stories of people, like I said, inside Newtown, but also the amount of support that continues to come into our town, and that's been the focal point. The positivity, the inspiration. I'll give you one more story of a woman. You might have heard this, in California, that came to Newtown, the Newtown Youth Academy, days after December 14th. She packed a bag, went to the airport, and the airline charged her $10 to hop on a flight after she told them she was coming to Newtown to do what she was going to do. And she just randomly, she didn't know anybody here, randomly showed up at the NYA and started helping. She was a gym teacher. Obviously the NYA was flooded with kids. The school was off. With games and just little things to keep them busy after the days of 12-14. And she stayed with a family. A family hosted her in Newtown, and she flew back after the weekend. And that's just one of the things where, once again, how can I help? What can I do? Those questions that popped up right after this tragedy. And moving forward, that's what we want to continue to inspire. Inspiring people to help out, do what they can, be kind. That's something that we've kind of lived on in these past few months in Newtown. It's become a kinder place. It's been a more positive place to live, to raise your children, and it's inspiring to the rest of the world, I think, to see a community come together and strengthen like Newtown has. And moving forward, we're going to continue that. We're going to continue to share. We're going to continue to sell T-shirts and raise money for the scholarship. But more importantly, sell T-shirts to people in California, and share that if you're a transported person out there, or you're a graduate of Newtown High School, support the community.
Now, there's also going to be some events that you'll be talking about. I know there will be some events in Sandy Hook coming up.
Correct. Yeah. So that's another thing that we want to stay involved in the community. We want to, showcase that strength, and we're working with the Sandy Hook Organization of Prosperity in Sandy Hook shop, as well as a few businesses down there that are coming together to, host events in the center of Sandy Hook, similar to the Cash Mob, but more community-oriented. A spring fling, an event for the kids, a scavenger hunt. They're going to try to do one of those themed events each month, a big event. They have the space down there with the gazebo and some live bands, and once again, just to pump some energy back into the community. And I think that we're going to start to learn about those events, those dates, and the themes of each of those events within the next few weeks. But people are working diligently to make that happen. People are so committed to the town and Sandy Hook and the stores, and making sure that this is a community that prospers. And we're excited to be a part of that, and just once again see the town grow and unify.
Right, and hopefully people will turn out to these events and continue that spirit of community that we've been fostering. It's always been there, but it just seems in times of tragedy, this is where you really see it come together.
Absolutely.
And it's quite inspiring to see that.
For sure.
And what you've done, and what the Macarulos and Amplitude and everybody around town who has contributed in so many different ways. It's just very inspiring. And I guess critical ways the community can get involved to keep things going with We Are Newtown.
Yeah, so stay involved in our Facebook page. That's our main avenue of communication. We talked about social media earlier and the impact, and there's been so many positive and negative impacts of social media and in the community, but also people communicating on our page. We want to make sure we're monitoring that continuously and making sure that the purpose of the page is non-political. The purpose is to share with each other the stories, and the ways people can help are purchasing a shirt, like I said, contributing to the funds. There's so many different organizations out there, and we're going to continue to highlight them as well.
Well, it's amazing because you've also got a lot of celebrities who are doing the same thing, and I saw a video from Jerry Springer that was on your website. I know that. Let's talk about that, and there's been some impact from celebrities getting involved.
For sure, yeah, and once again, it comes down to the question I've said it multiple times: how can I help? What can I do? Everyone's asked it, and we sent a letter to tons of different people, seeing if they can help us and support us, and Jerry Springer was one of them that responded. And he has such an amazing outreach. He has over 1 million people on his Facebook page, and to be able to utilize him and his network to bring awareness to what we're trying to do was inspiring. He purchased a shirt. He shared why people should contribute to the fund, and little things like that do make a difference. We saw a little spike in T-shirt sales after that. So we're getting the shirts in the right hands, and I think that once again, it's a unifying force, and if we could help, if Jerry Springer could help, that's all that matters. It's for a great cause.
Well, it's an amazing story. Thank you so much for being here today, Kyle. And if you are interested in learning more about We Are Newtown, and you should be interested, and you should be buying a T-shirt, it's not hard to find it. You can find the We Are Newtown website at wearenewtown.org. You can find them on Facebook with the We Are Newtown page, and on Twitter at twitter.com/wearenewtown. So if you want information, it's there. You cannot hide from this organization, and you don't want to, because it's fabulous. So with that, that ends our show. Kyle, thank you for being here with us today. I want to thank the crew, George, Kim, and our director, Neil, and thank you for taking time to watch this episode of Newtown's World. I'm your host, Gary Davis. Until next time, live life well. Super, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much.